people
Right,
over
we went off on a massive tangent here because
Yeah.
I started talking about your documentary work. I wanted to talk to you about some of your documentary stuff.
Okay, documentary stuff.
One of the things you brought up actually about
Yeah.
Catholicism, is that the right word, in the Philippines?
Yeah.
You made a documentary about that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did because I got interested in a law that they were trying to pass in the Philippines for the longest time. I think 18 years, that would allow couples or young people or anybody to actually use artificial contraception methods like
Right.
condoms, anti-baby pill, that kind of stuff. And because the Catholic Church, for the longest time, was totally against it, and they would stop the passing of this bill. And if you have been in the Philippines and you've taken, for example, a cab ride, you might run into a cab driver who has 13 children
Right.
and who is struggling to pay the bill. Yeah? So I'm thinking that's why we made that documentary. And it was really interesting. I mean, there's also this perception that the Philippines is a really poor country. It's really not.
Really?
No, it's not. It's a very unjust and unequal country. So we went to this hospital where about 60, 70 women give birth per day in that hospital.
Wow.
And once a week, a woman bleeds to death because it's just a really busy hospital.
Crikey.
And in the ward, there's typically 2 to 3 women in a bed. Yeah, so and it's like
In one bed?
Yeah, and it's like one big room. It's not like even you don't have your room. It's like one big room with maybe 50, 60, 70 beds in there, something like that. And it's like noisy and people are chattering and they don't look unhappy. They're having babies, literally like right there.
Mm.
And they stay there maybe 24 hours and then they go home.
Wow.
So that's it. You go there, you spend some time with another woman in another bed. That sounds not so bad, actually. And then you go and give birth and then you go home, right?
Mm.
And up the road, maybe an hour's drive, there's St. Luke's Hospital. That's a hospital that we don't have here. You'd be happy to have a hospital here as part of the NHS. They have a presidential suite. They have an ambassador suite. They have jacuzzis in that suite. There is no queue.
Wow.
We interviewed somebody, it was empty, no queue. There is restaurants on the ground floor. There's valet parking. I mean, I'd love to, we should, that's a hospital to have. And that's where the politicians go,
Right.
and the people that have money.
Mm.
So the Philippines is not poor.